Welcome back to the Business is Human podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession, and we're here to bring you episodes that blend meaningful work with profitable success. Here to steward what I call the age of humanity. I believe if we transform the way we work, we can transform the way that we live. As always, my friendly request, if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you don't miss any episode, and leave a review to tell the other humans that they might like it too. Always looking to help you and connect with others. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Welcome back to Business is Human. We're going to continue a conversation that started, a month or so ago, about how men and women communicate differently and how that causes some challenges in business. I have two examples from clients that I'm going to share with you today as an illustration that hopefully will help you reflect on how you can get better, whether you're a man or a woman. And I would love it if you even introduce this topic into your meeting so everybody can get better at it. Okay, so one of my clients, we had already been talking about this topic. That's what brought it to mind when I published this episode a month or so ago. But change is hard. And so even though we had talked about it in another coaching session just a few weeks ago, it came up again. And she had shared with me what she was going to communicate to her leader. And I immediately said, you don't have enough clarity on the front end of that. She had given all the context, all the reasons why, all who it's for, which is great. But that's what women typically do. We are the connectors. We make sure that people are gathering and know what's expected. And men are often, let's make sure we're fast and first. And these are, in the previous episode, I talked about the biological differences. So from a high testosterone level, men are designed to compete and be fast and first. Make sure that coming out of the cave, you're not going to get eaten by the tiger. Women are like, okay, we can go fast and we can be first, but do we have enough supplies? Are we going to survive the trip? Does everybody know where we're going? Are we unified? Both of those are important. And again, don't come at me and be like, not all men are like that and not all women are like that. I know. I know. I'm just saying from a biology preference perspective. And I went down the path of interviewing some men and some women about this just to make sure it was resonating. And so I feel good about this topic. So it's fine. So with this client, she had given all the clarity and all the context and and then at the end, it was like the ask. Basically, you need to flip that upside down. Here's the ask. Here's what I want. Give a sentence or two of context about why it matters. And then you've got all of the rest of this will be available should this person have additional questions and need more clarification. And she looked at me and she said, oh my gosh, you're so right. Because this particular leader also gets distracted easily. He doesn't want all the paragraph or two of why it matters unless he's going to ask that question. So get to the point, women. What do you want? Why do you need it? The other thing that I advised her in this situation is she had asked him to take on some part of this communication that for what she was asking for. That's not his strong suit. He's not a great communicator. She knows this. She reports to him. I said, why are you going to put in his hands the communication of this promotion that you're getting? Why wouldn't you say, here's how I'd like us to build the communication plan together to make sure it gets done in the way that you want it done? Be thinking about who is it that I'm working with? What are their natural tendencies? What are they already good at? And what are they not so good at? Why are we going to ask somebody to do something that they're already not good at when the results, the impact are going to dramatically impact us? So she's being promoted. There are some people involved that need this communication to go really well because she's fairly new and it's probably going to rattle them with some uncertainty because that's what the nervous system does. He hadn't thought about that. He's like, oh, you're perfect for the job. I'm going to promote you. This person's now going to report to you that didn't report to you before. By the way, this person that's going to report to you has been not a great performer, especially recently. So this person is definitely rattled with uncertainty, already not performing well. Now they're getting a new boss that hasn't come from the company. All of that is going to just be nervous system dysregulation on steroids. And I'm like, so why would you ask somebody who's not a great communicator to communicate something that's already unsettling for people? Work with them, build the communication plan together, because that's her strong suit, is communication. Make sure he's approving it, and then decide how it's going to go out. Don't leave things to chance that don't need to be left to chance. The second example, this client was going to her client. She's a consultant. She was going to her client to ask for more resources for this project. Same thing happened. She had given all of the context and all of the details about it. And before she could even finish telling him that story, he just interrupted her and he was like, "Are you just saying you need more help?" And she was kind of flustered because he interrupted her. And she said, yeah. And he's like, okay. I'm telling you, get to the point, ladies. Get to the point. And gentlemen, another example of a situation where a man who's a good man, good business person, there's no character malfunction with this person, had sent out a communication about some major changes and gave no clarity or context. The decision had been made. Here's what it is. Let's move on. Well, guess what happened? Everybody started putting their own context story together. And because oftentimes in business, we have a bit of a negativity bias, a little bit of a fear of, is this being done to me? And so the stories that they created in their own head, because there wasn't enough context in the message, just clarity, stirred up all kinds of stuff that took a whole lot longer than to go have additional conversations with people to get them calmed back down. And so we don't want that either. Give clarity. Here's what we're doing or what I need up front. And then here's the context of who it's for and why it matters. And if you can do that succinctly as a man or a woman, everybody wins. Because we all bring a story based on our past experiences, even from companies that we worked with or parents that we had from our whole lives. Whenever there's change and uncertainty, we bring our own story to the party. And so the more that we can be kind and clear and contextual about who it's for, why it matters, it just makes for a better conversation. Then if people have additional questions, great. But we can't have one without the other. And it's been my experience that typically men are better at clarity up front and asking for what they need or telling what's going to happen. And women are better at telling who it's for and why it matters. So if you can combine those two with the clarity first and then the context, give it a try. See how it goes. Look at your communication plans for projects, things that you've got that you need to send emails out or have presentations in a meeting, whatever you're communicating over the next week. Take a look at your schedule, take a look at your task list, and ask yourself, okay, what am I communicating next week? And then I want you to ask yourself, am I kind and clear up front? And then 2, have I added who is this for and why it matters? The context, clarity, and context. Do that and then report back to me. Let me know how it went. Maybe you should be on the show and we can give an example of how you made some changes that got you better results. Or if you're a woman thinking, you know what, I just need to flip all my emails and put the what I'm asking for, move it from the bottom to the top. Or if you are a gentleman, you need to not just tell, here's what we're doing, but give a little bit more context. Maybe show it to a female in your office and say, what's this missing? Let her tell you. Great way to work together. Deal? All right. Report back. Let me know how it goes. It's a short little episode today, partly because I'm leaving on vacation. I wanted to make sure you had stuff while I'm gone, but we don't need to ponder any more than that. There you go. Love you, mean it. Thanks for being here. You can follow us on Instagram, Business is Human, or TikTok, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession. It's a great way to share some of the clips with your colleagues and friends. All right. Make it a great day. Love you, mean it.